Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming pattern. We're going to be talking about an upcoming cooldown for the central and eastern United States, a little bit of the eastern United States, that is. And we're also going to talk a little bit about that heat wave out west some more, just like we did yesterday. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, how would you rank this summer so far? How has it gone 1 through 10 in your region, according to you, obviously? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video, and first things first, we're taking a look at the one-day temperature anomalies. We're just going to go day by day here, and first things first, we're taking a look at pretty much as of around now. And as you can see, this is actually going to be kind of the pattern that's going to persist a little bit. We have warmer temperatures out west. Basically, if you take the four corner states and then take that all the way up the Rockies, anywhere west of there, we're going to be dealing with pretty far above normal temperatures. But especially the central United States, and sometimes, and for some regions, the eastern United States will be included in a little bit of this cool down as well. But generally, these colder temperatures will persist, especially there for the central United States, like I said. So let's go ahead and move this, and this is going to be for Sunday, July 11th. And as you can see, the warmer temperatures are just persisting there, especially for the Southwest, but also for regions in the Rockies, especially Idaho there and Montana, and even up in through Canada as well. We're dealing with those far above normal temperatures, indicated by those kind of darker reds and then even those grayish brown shades there. That is especially where we're far above normal as far as temperatures are concerned. The blues there, the darker blues and the greens especially, is where we're dealing with the pretty far below normal temperatures. The greens is anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees below normal temperatures. So you can see for South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Iowa especially there, that is where the heart of that cold weather is at. It's not really cold, it's cooler. It's a little bit of a relief from the heat, I would say. We're going to show an actual temperature frame in just a moment, actually. But here we are taking a look at Monday, July 12th. And as you can see, things go a little bit further south. They're moving a little bit. We're seeing this cool down kind of shift further south. That warm up hasn't moved at all for the western United States. That is staying pretty persistent and pretty consistent as well. Here's a frame with some actual temperatures where that cool down is expected. Just to give you a reference, this is the high temperatures on Monday, July 12th. And as you can see, for states like Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, areas like that, even a little bit of Kansas, we're kind of in the lower 80s, upper 70s for most of those areas that are in the greens and the darker blues. So that is a very nice relief from the heat, if you ask me. Having upper 70s in the summer can be very relieving from those very hot temperatures, because I mean that's nearly room temperature. I'm sure that feels quite pleasant, and I'm actually quite jealous of you guys out there in the central United States. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to move further with this in through the middle portion of the month and even beyond. Now, this is going to be about Tuesday, July 13th, and as you can see, for the western United States, this has not died down at all. We still see those very, very warm temperatures out there. Again, especially the darker reds and then those grayish browns is where we're especially looking for those above normal temperatures. Now, I want to draw your attention towards the Gulf states, the central United States, where we have those blues showing up. No longer any greens or any darker blues, but mostly just these lighter blues. This is going to feel like near normal conditions, but you might be about 5 to 10 degrees below normal. So like, for instance, let's use 5 as an example. If your average temperature is 85, your high temperature, then you're at about 80 if you're 5 degrees below normal. Maybe you're 10 degrees below normal, and let's say your average temperature is 88, well, you're at 78 if you're 10 degrees below normal. So that can be significant, and it can make the difference between very hot weather and very pleasant weather. So this is still enough to where I would say it's a relieving cool down at this point. Now, those yellows that we could see, yellows and oranges for the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and especially there in the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic, that's where we're about 2 to maybe 8 degrees above normal. So that could make the difference between 88 and then maybe like 90 to 95. So that is bringing some hotter temperature probably for the northeastern United States by that point. Let's go ahead and move this on, and this is going to be by Wednesday on the 14th. And as you can see, not a lot changes. The only thing that changes here is we see the West Coast is starting to cool down a little bit. We took a look at that yesterday, actually, and talked a lot about that. But also the upper Midwest, the northern plains, and some of the areas in Wyoming and Montana as well. These areas are beginning to cool down significantly, actually, by this point. We do see some of those greens returning. And this could be a little bit of a second cool down that's coming through. And even by the time we're taking a look at Thursday on July 15th, you can see that we see those darker blues and green show up for South Dakota and Nebraska. So there is a significant cool down moving in by this point again. We also see that the West Coast is cooling down. So this might be the point where we're finally seeing some relief from that major heat wave you guys have been dealing with for what feels like probably about a month. You guys have been dealing with just extreme, record breaking, unheard of heat for your region. And this might be a little bit of a relief finally coming, especially there for Washington and Oregon, where they've been dealing with it the worst. But also California, you have been warmer than normal as well. So I think everybody on the West Coast is going to be happy about this. And now by the time we're even moving towards Friday, July 16th, you can see that cool down moves further inland and actually becomes a little bit more potent. So from the 15th, which is Thursday, basically Thursday through Friday at least, you guys are going to be dealing with some pleasant relief from that extreme heat you guys have been dealing with, which I think is good news for everybody in general. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to move on towards the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, and just see what's going on to that point. And then we're going to move on, maybe take a look at it in 5-day increments. Now, here is by the time we are reaching the 17th of July, which is going to be a Saturday. As you can see, the West Coast is still dealing with a pretty nice relief from that heat. Also, Arizona, New Mexico dealing with pretty nice relief as well, obviously, with those greens showing up 10 to 15 degrees below normal for you guys. We see near normal conditions there for northern Texas, areas in Oklahoma and Arkansas. And then we see some of those blues still around for some of the Ohio Valley and through the plains as well. So there is still the remnants of that cool down, but it's just not quite as potent by this point. By the time we are reaching Sunday the 18th, you can see those blues get a little bit darker there for the central United States. And a little bit of bad news here, Oregon, Washington, and California, you are once again warming up by the time we are looking at the 18th. We see those reds trying to make a return here. The East Coast is actually cooling down a little bit. We can see those, what was pretty much oranges, are now becoming scattered in yellows a little bit. So the blue is trying to creep its way in there. By the time we're reaching the 19th, which is going to be a Monday, we can see that Washington, Oregon, and California, those blues have disappeared and the warmer than normal conditions have returned. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I have to obviously tell the truth, and that is what this model is showing at this point. For the central United States, we can see that there is some greens and blues around, so the cooler temperatures are returning for the central regions of the United States. And then the Northeast is warming up a little bit, although we see Virginia, North Carolina are cooling down a tiny bit. So the areas in the Southeast are kind of all over the place, but very close to normal to say the least. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this in 5-day increments. This is day 0 through 5, which is going to be today, Saturday, the 10th through Thursday, the 15th. And as you can see, this pattern of very warm temperatures in the west prevails and very cool temperatures in the central United States as well as the southeast prevails, but the northeastern corner of the country will be a little bit warmer than normal, although nothing on par with what the western United States will be dealing with. By the time we take a look at the next 5-day increment, which will be Thursday, July 15th through Tuesday, July 20th, you can see that there isn't a lot different, although the West isn't dealing with quite as potent of those above normal temperatures. And quite frankly, we do see that Washington, Oregon, and California do get a little bit of blues making their way in. So that is that relief that I was talking about earlier. The central United States is a little bit less cooler than normal. We do see some yellows trying to mix their way in. And then the Northeast is kind of the same as that 5-day period beforehand. So that is kind of the overview of what we have been dealing with and what we will be dealing with for quite some time. The Northeast has actually been in this pattern a long time as well, what they're currently dealing with. So this has been kind of a pattern that's been locked in, and there is some oscillations that cause it to happen, but eventually something will cause this to break up and likely will not return until obviously another time, maybe years in the future. I don't know how long it'll take us to get a pattern somewhat like this, but there's been a lot of things that are historic about it and record breaking, so I don't expect it anytime soon. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we're at a 5 out of 6. We feel pretty confident that there will be some cooler temperatures in the central United States, warmer temperatures in the Northeast, and then hot temperatures out west. I couldn't feel more confident in that. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, how long do you think it's going to take for the West to see some true relief from that heat? And James Marr said, I think they will see a relief about 10 days from now. And I have to say, I think that is a good time frame, although it's not foreseeable, basically, at this point. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, John Benbenek, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, They're the Pan, and Donna Carnes. alongside our Diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalesa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Cindy Klein, Mark J, Luke Flago, Gary, John Colisi, Dwight Phelan, and Steven Crenenthal. If you would like to be a part of this Patreon screen today, you can do so by joining our very exciting Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comments down below. I would also like to thank our channel members HairFarms1 and Catbite as well. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to destroy the like button, leave a comment down below to help that YouTube algorithm out, and also be sure to subscribe if you like weather related content. I will see you guys in the next video.